Two of the most impactful moments in Elden Ring come when encountering the Elden Beast within the Erd Tree, and Metyr, the Mother of Fingers, after traveling to the Finger Ruins. These celestial beings are akin to the Great Ones of Bloodborne, elder gods who fell as shooting stars upon the lands between in the ancient past. One thing that intrigued me about both of these beings is that before facing them we are transported to somewhere else. A higher plane? Another dimension? Where are we, really? In attempting to answer this question, the first thing I noticed is that both of these areas clearly have an aquatic theme. The Elden Beast domain is akin to a vast lake through which the Golden Star can swim freely. This location is also surrounded by a great number of Erd trees, the implications of which are as intriguing as they are mysterious. The Finger Birthing Grounds, as the Grace Within refers to them, is adorned with giant structures which appear very similar to tube corals. It is also notable that we are actually below the surface of the water, which can be observed far above, marking this area akin to Rom's arena in Bloodborne, which is reached by jumping into an arcane lake. It's easy to miss the importance of water in Elden Ring, especially since your character doesn't seem to have learned how to swim in their time before crossing the fog. But that doesn't mean water, rivers, and lakes don't play a major role in the lore of the world. Today I'm going to be discussing the link between water, death, and the cosmos, in order to explain why the realms of these alien gods are both aquatic in nature. The first piece of the puzzle I'm going to cover today might seem unimportant at first, but is actually extremely informative. The Dew Gem, a succulent plant that is supped on night-tinged dew. It glows at night and blossoms mainly at the watersides, said to have been used in the practice of sprite medicine long ago. This description connects three very important concepts together: the night, the water, and the spirit. The link between the Dew Gem and the practice of sprite medicine also links them to Ra, which is the only place in which spirits are referred to as sprites. Within the Ra ruins, past the largest spider scorpion, within a room filled with white flowers, multiple dew gems can be looted in front of a large statue. Additionally, Ra clearly values flowing water, evidenced by the various aqueducts, not just in these ruins, but found all across the lands between. The people of Ra likely valued the dew gems for the same reason they value flowing water. They carry spirits. I discussed this point in depth in my Rivers video, but just as a quick recap, I theorized that flowing water contains spirits, hence why the ancestral spirit-worshipping faith established itself along an underground river, why the Erd tree's roots, which absorb death, reach into said river, and why rot grows from stagnant waters. Everything about the underground evokes the spirit. Additionally, the spirit calculus, which is suffused with spirituality and is used to craft sprite stones, is dropped by the ectopically horned beasts of Ra. This is based on a real object, kidney stones, which are hard, pebble-like deposits of mineral salts, which are found in the urinary tract and develop due to minerals in the drinking water. This paints a picture that the spirituality of the Crucible causes horn growth in the creatures of the Shadowlands through the water they drink. So why are spirits so consistently linked to water? I believe it is because water acts as a gateway to the spiritual realm. And the cultures of the lands between clearly believe this as well, as we can see many examples of boat burial in various groups. Within the Shadowkeep we find a number of burning boats filled with ashes. In the lowest portion of Stormvale we find skeletons within small wooden boats, remnants of a bygone ritual. Within Anir Elim, we find a statue of a horn-sent riverboat modeled off the funerary boats of Egypt. Most prominently, the giant stone coffin ships of the Cerulean coast, which have a grave glovewort located before the large bull statue near the stern, a white flower that blooms in catacombs, each a soundless bell used to summon spirits. Also, you can see a little spirit just above the flowers, which is a cool design detail. These ships are clearly of the ancient dynasty, evidenced by the bull symbol, and that these coffins are depicted in the dynasty obelisks. These coffins are filled with putrescence, found underground in the land where stone coffins drift. The putrescence is what remains of the impure lives kept within the stone coffins. In an age long past, death was burned by ghost flame. Even the remains of tainted flesh were given equal treatment in death. Water is a gateway to a higher plane, and so the dead are placed within boats to be sent to the spiritual realm. The fact that they are also often burned is no coincidence, as this process releases the spirit from the body. This is not where the connections of water stop for the ancient dynasty, however. The claymen are the warped remains of priests who searched for revelation in the service of the ancient dynasty. And they use uniquely aquatic sorceries. The claymen search for lost oracles within their bubbles. Oracle is a very selective term in Elden Ring, and the only other time it is used is also tied to bubbles. The Oracle Envoys are a monstrous band of musicians who employ sacred arts. It is said that when Oracle Envoys appear, playing their pipes, they do so to herald the arrival of a new god, or age. So, with this information, in addition to bubbles and water being related to spirits, we can also tie them to divinity. It's no coincidence that the bubbles used to search for divine revelations appear strikingly similar to the microcosm through which Metyr receives signals from the greater will. On the topic of the Oracle Envoys, I would also like to point out another commonality, the importance of music, or at least sound. The envoys summon divine bubbles with their pipes, which herald gods. The Tibia mariners use a large horn from within their riverboats to summon the spirits of the dead. Ghost and grave glovewort is said to be a soundless bell used to summon spirits. Most importantly, we sound 3 hanging bells within the finger ruins to gain access to Metyr's realm. The fate of one who sounds the hanging bell will be guided by the stars. These instruments are used to commune with spirits, and are also related to the night sky. In terms of evidence linking water and the stars, the Academy of Rea Lucaria, which studies the stars, was built within the largest lake in the lands between. In addition to the dew gem, there's also the dew-kissed herba, which is a herb that grows in the false night in and around the Eternal City. Soaked in arcane dew, it gives off a faint glow of starlight. Starlight gives rise to arcane dew, and this is almost definitely the same as the celestial dew, which is used in rituals which alter fate. The spiritual realm of Elden Ring is linked to the cosmos, and, just as in Bloodborne, water is a gateway into this realm, and is therefore strongly linked to both death and the stars. Many spirits take the form of oceanic life for this very reason. Within the lands between, we can observe spirit jellyfish, commonly found in nearby graveyards. The spirit jellyfish we are given in-game by Rodrika is named Aurelia, which is an unsubtle nod to the scientific name of the moon jelly, Aurelia arita. This spirit was once a human and is heavily implied to have been an astrologer. When we summon her in the Stargazer ruins in the mountaintops of the giants, she will leave with her sister, another spirit jellyfish.
Dear sister, you're finally here. No time to waste. Let's see the stars.
Within the Land of Shadow, strange spirit eels replace the jellyfish, being found near mausoleums and within death-associated areas such as the Cerulean coast. These are potentially based on a number of aquatic animals. Sea cucumbers, which expel their innards in the same way these spirits do, or the spotted garden eel, which stick out of the ground in a similar way. They also appear similar to the polyp stage of some Nidarians, which would further link them to the spirit jellyfish. Another new creature from the Shadowlands that is worth discussing are the lampreys, which infest the Finger Ruins. These are heavily implied to be transformed humans. The glinting nail, which fires the same magic projectile as the lampreys utilize, states that the lampreys that guard the Finger Ruins resemble fingers far more than they do humans, and so the Finger Weavers imitate their sorcery. These lampreys also have the remnants of clothing on their lower half, indicating their human origin. A light pink mushroom resembling a wizened finger, used by those who wish to become fingers to induce hallucinations. These fungi are used to craft an even more important item, the fingerprint nostrum, which interestingly also requires a dew gem. It is a bolus engraved with whorl-like lines. It boosts mind, intelligence, faith, and arcane at the cost of gradual health loss. A secret medicine of those who attempt to turn their human bodies into fingers. Ingesting causes something to wriggle within. Transporting one's mind to a higher plane, increasing their spiritual attributes, transforms them into a lamprey, an aquatic form which mirrors the nature of the spirit world. This process requires the spiritual energy found within flowing water, tinged by the influence of the night sky. And so, finally, we can understand what exactly the realm of the Elden Beast, and of Metyr, is. They are physical entities which are so powerful on a spiritual level that they create a pocket of the spirit realm around themselves. These realms are aquatic because they are at the boundary between the physical and the spiritual. Due to the links between water and the night sky, I think it is possible we are tapping into the primeval current itself when in these realms. What really cements this idea for me is the fact that the primeval current is instead referred to as the headwaters in Japanese. But, in a traditionally Lovecraftian fashion, what we are able to comprehend about these worlds is limited. Do the many Erd trees which surround the Elden Beast represent other worlds influenced by the Greater Will? Perhaps they are alternative timelines. All we can do is speculate. Likewise with Metyr's ocean, what purpose could these giant tube coils serve? This is the birthplace of the two fingers, or perhaps it is linked to the finger ruins, which seem to have grown as opposed to have been built somehow. I would love to hear your theories in the comments. One final note I would like to end on is the fact that neither the Elden Beast or Metyr truly die when we defeat them. The beast transforms back into the Elden Ring, whereas Metyr teleports through her microcosm before death. Since this microcosm is how Metyr received signals from the Greater Will, it may lead to the lightless void this divine entity or force is said to exist within. If only we could follow her through into the void. But perhaps some secrets are better left unknown. Thanks for watching, and a huge shout out to my channel members. If you enjoyed the video, consider hitting the join button. Otherwise, I hope to see you next time.